Hello, and welcome to Questions for the Bronco Battalion. My name is Billy Clayton. I'm a Scholarship and Enrollment Officer for Western Michigan University, Grand Valley State, Calvin, and Davenport. Today's question: what makes me competitive for the Army ROTC Scholarship? Now, before we get started, I have to say that the answers given to this question are in accordance with Army regulations as of the date that this video was posted. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, the Army ROTC Scholarship covers 100% of your tuition, a $420 a month living stipend, and $600 a semester for books, so $1,200 a year for a book stipend. To be competitive for that, we look for three things: scholar, athlete, and leader. And in a second, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. But first, I want to explain the process. June 12th of every year, the scholarship window opens, or the scholarship season opens. The scholarship season exists of three different boards, and typically the first board is in October, second board in January, and the third board is in March. If you're a high school student and a high school senior, that board opens, that is the June 12th of the summer before you start your senior year. Now, when we talk about scholar, athlete, and leader, the first thing we look at for scholars is how successful are you as a high school student. And this pretty much is the foundation. So what I'm showing you here is kind of the answer key to that question. This is what you need to do. If you can hit these columns, as many of these things on this page as possible, that makes you highly competitive for an ROTC scholarship. So scholar, the GPA is the GPA at the end of your junior year. So junior year of high school, whatever that cumulative GPA is, that is what everybody is used for when they compete. So no matter what happens your senior year, or even if you've improved grades your senior year, that does not matter, because everybody gets evaluated off of that junior cumulative GPA. A 3.0 to a 3.49 is considered average, but I'm telling you right now, if you're not in that above average category, you're mildly competitive at most. If you're below that 3.0, although you only need a 2.5 in order to apply for a scholarship, it's going to be a very, very slim chance of you receiving an ROTC scholarship from the National Board. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. I want to be as transparent as possible in the scholarship selection process. Okay, so ACT, SAT scores. There is no minimum score, but you have to have at least taken it. Now, I know there's a lot of colleges out there right now that are test blind, that they're not accepting any SAT scores or ACT scores, but our scholarship does. So please take that test seriously, because it could be the difference between a full 4-year ROTC scholarship or something called a 3-year advanced designee scholarship, and we'll cover that at the end. If you're in the Honor Society, that gives you points. If you are, if you take any AP courses, honor classes, or IB, if you have International Baccalaureate at your school, all those classes counts. That gives you more points. How you're ranked within your classes. Now, I know some schools don't do class rankings, but you need to be at least in the top 50 to get something. And of course, the higher you are, the more points you get. So again, how successful are you as a high school student? That's what's most important. Okay, now we go over to athletics. For athlete, any competitive sport in school or in the community, whether it's a team sport or individual, as long as it's a competitive sport, those gives you points. So if you take in one sport, that gives you points. If you take multiple sports, that gives you even more points. If you've lettered in those sports, that gives you even more points. How well that you've done, if you've gone to district, regionals, nationals, states, whatever that looks like, that even makes you more competitive. So again, how competitive are you, or how well you've done as an athlete. Then you have to do what's called the cadet fitness assessment, which is 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute of curl-ups, so that's the arm across the chest sit-up jobby, and a 1-mile run. And this test can be given at your local school by any coach, or if you are homeschooled and don't have someone to give this test to you, you can reach out to your local ROTC program and they'd be happy to administer this for you. Now, If you don't have any sports under your belt, you really need to knock out that cadet fitness assessment. You need to be able to show us that you have the physical acumen in order to compete within the ROTC program. Last thing, leader. So leader is everything else. So what else were you able to add to your plate and you were still able to be this successful at college? Because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of the scholarship is to see, can you handle the rigors of higher ed and the extra that is ROTC. So, groups, clubs, organizations that you're a member of, again, in school or in the community. If you were team captains or co-captains, if you were in the marching band and you were a section leader or a drum major, all these different areas that you were able to put in any type of leadership qualities or had any leadership positions. Now, a lot of people have been in groups and clubs and organizations, but not everybody has been a leader in those groups, clubs, and organizations. And that's where you can actually shine. If you're able to show that you're a leader in those organizations, you'll have something that most people won't. JROTC, if you were in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, if you did volunteer work, employment, again, anything that you can do to show that you had all this extra stuff that you were handling and was still able to be a good college student. A good high school student. So this is the answer key, everybody. As we go through things, the military or the Army in general does something called the whole soldier concept. So we would rather see you hit stuff in all three categories than to max out two and get 0 points in another. That does not make you competitive. So the more things that you can hit in all three categories, the more competitive that you would be for an ROTC scholarship. Now, the ROTC scholarship can provide either a 4-year ROTC scholarship or something called a 3-year AD. Now, a 3-year AD means a 3-year advanced designee. So that means you're starting school as a freshman with a 3-year scholarship in your pocket that will turn on your sophomore year. And that scholarship will cover your sophomore, junior, and senior year. It covers the same. It's still the same 100% of tuition. It's still the same $420 a month, and then the book stipend. But it's only a 3-year scholarship instead of a 4. But you don't have to reapply, you don't have to compete, you have it, it's in your pocket, it's ready to go. As long as you're eligible to contract the start of your sophomore year, your scholarship will turn on. The only, you will have to be in the ROTC program your freshman year, so just understand that. But those are the two options. Now, typically what you're going to see more than not is you're going to see those 3-year AD scholarships. So just be prepared for those. And there are different schools out there that have incentives for individuals who are coming with a 3-year scholarship. So as you are looking at the different schools that are going into, not only make sure that you look like you're going to be academically successful at the university, but also ask that ROTC program, what kind of incentives do you have for ROTC cadets? All right, so that's it for this week's question. Thank you very much for checking us out this week. Make sure you follow information by liking and subscribing. And if you have any questions or you would like us to address one of your questions, go ahead and drop that into the comments. We might be answering your question next week. All right, so be safe out there. And as always, Broncos lead the way. See if you have what it takes by going to wmich.edu/ROTC.